Okay, so hello.
Hello, grandmother Gail.
Hi.
Hi, this is Androsh.
Hello.
Hi.
Your voice isn't on.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
It's turned on my end.
There it
Okay,
is.
there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, hear you now.
Okay.
So where is your end?
I'm on the south edge of Algonquin Park in Northern Ontario.
Oh,
Ah.
okay.
Yeah, so I'm in the wilderness.
We're in the boonies.
We're all in the wilderness. We're just coming out of the wilderness.
Yeah.
It's a constant coming out of the into the light.
Yeah. My wilderness fluctuates between, sort of wilderness and heavy wilderness, and I lived in the Canadian Arctic and Yellowknife, so that was like the far wilderness.
Ah,
Yeah, we're just in the boonies. We have like an hour drive to major grocery stores and things.
Same here. Yeah, yeah, an hour or two. I mean, we have a Halliburton Village is where I live, and then it's got the village, so it's got your necessities, but we do a lot of online shopping.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
doing
we do
it
too.
yesterday, Amazon, Walmart,
Yeah.
Canadian Tire, wherever I could find items, and get them shipped to me because it's too far to drive all over the place trying to shop.
Right. Well,
how cold is it over there? Because that's another.
Right now, let me see. My weather report says, oh, it's 0
Oh,
Celsius.
you come.
0 Celsius.
Zero.
Okay.
So that'd be 32.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not too
Yeah.
bad.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were 32 this morning, but I think we've had nice sunny day, sunny morning.
And we have the
So
sun out.
yeah.
That don't mean anything.
Well, we're I guess we'll just wait a few minutes, see if anyone else pops in. Yeah, so do you have feelings about the global medicine wheel that we've been talking about why we're here right now?
I haven't really been following that. I mean, I have my own versions of medicine wheels, so it is.
Uh-huh. Well, okay, so in this, well, first our first global medicine wheel and our hardest journey was in 2017. And I've had friends who've been doing these medicine wheels, for many, many years. It was led by Benny LeBou, Blue Thunder. He was an indigenous teacher. And he was like, we need to do it bigger. And they were doing crystalline grids on the ground in different locations to grid the earth. And as he neared the end of his life, he's like, we need to do this globally, and people are the stones. We need to do it with all the people being those points on the medicine wheel. So this spring, I had the honor of introducing two of my friends who didn't know that the other one, and they were both students of Blue Thunders. And when we had a Zoom together and it just came out, okay, we need to do global medicine wheel. We have 3 waves, and we did Earth Day, March 21st. No, World Water Day was March 21st, and we focused on the water and mother. The second one was April 22nd, and that was Earth Day. And that day we were in Glastonbury at Chalice Well in England.
I have water from there.
Ah, oh, we're here. Lisa's joining us. Oh, good. This will be fun. Lisa Luna is coming in.
Yeah, go on. Oh, I guess
So
we might as
yeah,
well wait
so
for
I
that.
was waiting for Lisa.
Yeah.
Her camera and audio are still connecting up. So the Global Medicine Wheels were March 22nd, April 22nd, and then the third one, we felt like there needed to be a space in between. And so it was June 21st was International Children's Day. So we did the third one on International Children's Day. And that all caused the global grandmothers to boom. That's when the real big blossoming happened of growing up to 55,000 members was during those times. And in 2017, when we took the hardest journey, as we returned, we had opened the feminine heart in Hungary, the feminine side of the heart, that we understood there was a masculine side of the heart that was England, and the feminine side of the heart was in Hungary. And we experienced her opening and her awakening because it had been shut down after World War II and Stalin communism and all of the repression that was there. And by the time we got home, the Me Too movement was in full force. Women had their voice and their ability to speak and say no more. And, so there's just these little pinpoints along the way of, oh, that's the evidence of the work that we're doing. And, just really excited about this one to have it surrounding the grandmothers. So the image is the mother and baby in the center with the grandmothers around the mother and baby, which is Mothership Alliance and the web platform we just built and are launching. That's the mother and baby, the grandmothers around that. And then the Heartists, who are those who support the grandmothers surrounding that. So it's the three waves of protection while and then the baby will be presented to the world, to the community, to the world. But first there's that time for mother and child to just be taken care of by the grandmothers. That's needed first. So it's surrounding our 10 days of tending the roots is this global medicine wheel. And it's like this wheel of, you could say protection, but nurturance of watching with joy while this process is going on, and then being ready in 2025 to present to the world in a bigger way. So,
So why is she waiting?
uh, we don't see you, Lisa. Your camera's not on. Are you present?
Hold on. I am present. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yes,
Hi,
because I
sweetie.
was driving to the river, so I wanted to not miss this part, but I couldn't be on the camera. Sorry, I didn't know I wasn't muted. I hope that wasn't like disruptive.
No, you were not. You were muted. I just unmuted you.
Oh, beautiful. Yay. No, I just caught sight of this morning and I was like, I'm fitting this into my day. I want to hear what these people have to say. And I enjoyed being part of the other medicine wheel ceremonies and did little things here in Boise and then one in Oregon for the June one. And so I just wanted to tune in. And as you know, I'm definitely part of the web of
Yes.
life.
Yes, you are. Lisa Luna, who's with us, Gail, is works real closely with Suzanne. And she'll be on with Suzanne on day one on the 12/12. She'll be in that call with Suzanne. She's a lovely community musician and leader and artist there on the ground. We've been in community together. So
Yeah, long time. How beautiful to see you still doing what you do, Mayana.
yeah, yeah.
Thank
And
you.
you still doing what you do. We get
Yep.
through the bumps and the hurdles and get beyond them.
Yes, we do.
So, oh, here we have somebody else coming in.
Do we know who it is?
M. Just M.
Mm.
Welcome, M. You are. Oh, it's Misha. Hi, Misha.
Hello.
There we go. There we go. No, you got muted again. Okay, unmute. There we go. Unmuted.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Andres.
Good, good. Well, we were just going over the past history of our global medicine wheels and then talking about this one. With the grandmothers, we're having this 10 days from 12/12 through 12/21 of tending our roots. And while we're tending our roots, and to me, tending the roots means caring for the future generations as well as our own history, our own individual roots and rooting in earth. And as we're wintering, making sure the roots are secured and taken care of. So the global medicine wheel came through that we are the hardest group is those who support the grandmothers and that they are providing that nurturing sphere around this process that's happening for the grandmothers. And along with doing a global medicine wheel, the message that I received was that we are turning the wheel. And turning the medicine wheel, I was feeling into what does that really mean? What does it mean to turn the medicine wheel? And as I was thinking about that, a post came up about how the north is not where north used to be because the earth has tilted on its axis. And yet all of the medicine wheels are set to that north. And maybe it's time to physically turn medicine wheels. At least it's time to turn our attention in the wheel to the fact that Earth has tilted and may tilt more. There may be even greater tilts where, there's a potential for that. And also that there is something about time and turning time and freeing time that as we turn the medicine wheel, we are also turning the wheels of time. And the message that came through for that is time is a woman and she ebbs and she flows. And we've locked her down and we've imprisoned her with clocks and watches and all of these times that are our calendars that are not natural time, they're fake. And if we can let our minds disconnect from the idea that we've been enculturated with of time, with the father time idea and the new year on December 31st, and all of those cultural ideas of time, if we can free that things can happen unexpectedly that could really nurture our world and really magically emerge. So those are my thoughts on the whole thing. I would love to hear other people's takes and wisdoms and feelings about it.
Mayana, would you speak
Yes.
a little? I'll put me on. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Will you speak a little more to the turning of the wheel, like the tilting of the earth, and like if you think about moving a wheel or moving our attention in the wheel, I like that. But like like the tilt went where? Like to the south, to the east? Like, what do you mean? Can you speak more to that?
Okay, so the north, I believe it tilted to like 1 o'clock. If you're looking at a clock, I believe it's gone to about 1 o'clock. You're nodding, Gail. Does that mean you have some knowledge about that too? You're living up there.
The Inuits would use the wind and the formation of the snowdrifts to indicate direction north south because it's dark, and they said because of the tilting of the earth, the snowdrifts have changed, so they no longer can rely on that as their direction because the direction of the earth is shifted, and so has the direction of the snowdrifts that they use to guide their sleighs and such.
Wow. And I know that there are airports that have had to rebuild their runways because they're off kilter. And as far as the turning of the wheel, it feels like there's a crunching and an effort needed. Like it needs our power and our intention to actually turn it.
Well, I think perhaps it might be a good idea to really define the quote unquote wheel. Are you talking about a real wheel? Well, are we just talking about something celestial, or how do you see the wheel? Let's define it a
Well, the
little bit more.
medicine wheel is a land-based ceremonial space that's set up by indigenous people usually
Mhm.
to denote the four directions and the energies of those. And so I have found myself, I usually stood in the north and felt really closely with White Buffalo Woman in ceremony, but I've found myself now standing more in the south, facing the north and turning a little northeast.
Well, I think the way to really focus in on that would be to pick a day and at noon, exactly at noon, you have the sun behind you, and you look and directly ahead of you is north. And I think that makes a very self-adjusting thing to what is really happening. It's not about what's drawn on the ground. It's about where the actual south is, and it's always available for you to know. You don't have to make any adjustments. It's it's always available if you do that on a at noon. Of course, now that also
That
depends.
depends on what they've done with time.
Yeah, that depends on, well, yeah. Like we have daytime, what are they called?
Daylight savings
Daylight
time.
savings. So it is changed.
It's fake. It's all
Yeah.
fake.
Yeah.
Diana, what I'm hearing as one who's walked the wheel and, done the wheel a
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah.
I hear I hear you like that crunching, like that, like power steering that's gone out in a car that it doesn't want to shift or move. But like, say that to me is a different perspective. Like, so your stance, like say if the north has to do with right stance, you're shifting. So like your whole angle, it's a different angle on things or a different dimension that you're opening up a little bit. But I guess what I also hear with Grandmother Gail's sharing is that the orientation points literally they're different. They're gone. They've shifted. And what does that mean for us as we maybe go back to what Andra says? What does that mean for us as we find center? Maybe it's about also coming to center and letting the orientation points rearrange or something. But it's very mysterious what you're saying, which is why I wanted to be here, because I'm like, what are these people talking about?
Yeah, and we each have a medicine, we each can have our own medicine wheel within us, that is our life.
And we do the hemispheres of our brain, the four quadrants of our heart.
And that's why I started speaking, because that is really what we
Yeah.
want to connect with
Yeah,
our
beautiful.
own inner
Yeah.
medicine
Our
wheel.
inner compass. Yes, I
And
like that.
Yes, exactly. I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. The
And
inner
I
compass.
uh I think it's very, you don't have to look at the clock really to know when noon is. I mean, it's like after if you're at home and you've been at home in that same geographic point for a while, you get a pretty good idea where when the sun is the highest on sunny days. So it's just, I mean, we don't have to be so precise because we're not out there sailing the ocean, so we don't have to deal with the actual compass to
Yeah.
make sure on the other side. But our inner compass is that's why the indigenous people when they connect their homeland, their homeland. And that's why there has always been a fighting about the homeland, is because we get used to that and we begin to feel a real connection.
Mhm.
So people have been defending it forever, you know.
Mhm. Mhm.
So all of these things come up, but to feel the true north of your own compass is what I'm always after or with.
Yeah.
And with with the idea of turning, yeah, it's a perspective. How can we change our perspective
Mhm.
about what's happening in the world
Yeah.
that will free the movement of the elements of time and space
Mm.
to allow the birth of the new world that we all know is sprouting, and we just want to keep the toxins away from it and out of the garden.
Mm. Mhm.
What are your thoughts, Misha? You're thinking. I see it.
Yeah.
Uh, Firstly, I think I wore the right hat for the occasion.
Ah.
Ah,
Ooh,
We're in the
yeah.
woods in the wintertime, and particularly here in Asheville, where these trees like this, their axis has shifted into down and separated from the roots, like all over. Anywhere you look, the debris from the trees are prevalent. Um, my thoughts about it, about freeing the feminine energy to be able to be in the flow. I think of the idea of service and reception, like the idea of the yang energy and the yin energy, and how the intention and the power being used. I immediately have, maybe because I'm a male, like a bias towards the idea of taking action and being pragmatic. So when I think about that, when I think about that, I think about my relation with the South. And I just recently got back from Florida and was meeting with my father, and he has developed over the past several decades a international trade exchange, like a barter bank, where there's thousands and thousands of members that have facilitated exchanges of goods and services with each other using a currency outside of the US dollar to move idle inventory and to open markets and to increase their sales. The thing that we're doing now that I came to an agreement with him on is I've been involved with time banking for years. And time banking is where neighbors help neighbors. It's a collaborative currency that's based on our time. And so to use that as the currency as we facilitate what we're asking for and what we're needing from others globally. That's now being integrated with the trade banking system so that we can go and facilitate those exchanges with each other.
he froze. Can you hear us? You froze. I don't know if you can hear us, Misha. Um, well, in the meanwhile, welcome, Kelly. Kelly, is your sound turned on?
There it
Yeah,
is.
Oh,
just
okay.
turning on. Hi, sorry, I was here
Uh-huh.
earlier, but I couldn't get your attention.
Sorry.
Sorry, I interrupted, but I wanted
No,
to
it's okay.
I was trying to join you. I just finished doing a really powerful ceremony for some land in Arizona that's anchoring to become a retreat center and a space to work with sacred. So we just did this really beautiful. We just lost our brother there. He'll be
Yeah.
back hopefully. Yeah, I just came off of a ceremony and prayer ceremony with a couple that are on ancient, really old ceremonial ground with the Anastasies in Arizona.
Mhm.
So, and the Hopis, they're working with the Hopis. And so really
We
beautiful.
were, yeah, we were just talking about what it might mean to us to turn the medicine wheel.
Oh, wow. So that's amazing. Yeah, for me, I have my own tribal roots, but my real tribe is the earth itself and all people. So, as a brother sisterhood, I feel like the greater hoop is coming together in a bigger wheel than ever. It's a time when we have to honor all of our traditions together, even in our differences, but learn how to be very respectful to one another, very loving, very honoring. It's a real powerful time for us to hold the white path of the white rainbow. That's about purity, not about any kind of whiteness, other than to be in the pure path of peace together and unified light. And I just spoke with a group of women who are part of the Waitaha people in New Zealand. They're starting a peace walk with the white rainbow and the original milk lines of the Divine Mother Feminine for that white peace walk, to gather people from around the world to pray together and to unify. And this is a big time of what we're all doing in the Greater Hoop. We're feeling that call, we're unifying with each other. We're finding our purpose in the places we're supposed to be as well. And I know for me, the living in a path of listening, you're a hollow reed when you're really being a holy woman and just letting spirit take you to what's purposeful and what's meaningful today, what's purposeful and what's meaningful now. And I knew I was supposed to be here, and I just finished this beautiful ceremony. We had goose pimples all over our bodies through the whole thing. All three of us, this beautiful couple, myself and a child. And I'm here with my water bowl and the corn mother and the cornmeal. It's all here in front of me still. And then coming on with you all right now just felt like so precious to be,
Yeah.
I'm here with my
But
bear. I even have my bear.
you missed Lisa Luna sharing. She was speaking about that this could be, that it just felt like a shift in perspective. And
Yep,
we talked about the tilt of the Earth axis
yep.
and the with bringing the white in, that feels like the center of the wheel. It's not about the colors outside, it's about the center of the wheel is the white pillar.
Yeah, well, that's also the white city, what we call the white diamond, heart of Gaia. It's the heart of Gaia in her higher form. So for me, that's what that speaks to. And I've become a priestess, um, a guardian of leadership for people to make their way to her. The White City is spoken of in ancient texts, but a lot of people don't remember her. They don't remember that part of the earth. So we have three hearts to the earth that we have to pay attention to now. The emerald heart, which is the mother we stand on. The white diamond heart, her higher body, the inner earth. And the reclaiming of that for the light fully is where we're at. And then there's the blue diamond heart. This is the new creation of the next body of Gaia, what we call New Earth. So we're working with all three diamond hearts of Gaia. And I now teach a meditation practice, and I invite you all to do this on a daily basis. If you go into your meditation practice with not just the earth, but the three hearts, starting with the emerald, you could ask the emerald heart, what is it? How do I best serve myself and others in this way today? And ask that question every day, but do it from heart to heart. Ask the emerald heart, ask the white heart, diamond heart of Gaia, then ask the blue heart. And you'll get different messages from each one. You'll find that in the white heart, you oftentimes get streamed into greater expanded galactic family activity, sometimes with your higher bodies. Okay, that'll be your normal. For some of you, expanded, in your light. And then you'll find that with the blue heart, it'll be more about what you're dreaming and wanting to have created on our earth, what you're stepping up to hold, and what you're manifesting with your communities that you want to bring together and anchor into the new creation field. What do we want to have happen on the earth? How do we want to create new ways to be together? How do we want to be here on this earth in sovereignty with the light, in our relationship, harmonically with the good, being on purpose, with all the sacredness that we walk with, and how we hold the reciprocity of that relationship with nature, the give and take of it in a way that is the most holy, not taking more than we need and always planning to replenish what we have taken away. Being able to live respectfully in an honoring way with the life force of the earth, so important, so vital. Doing our inner work so that we're ready to be able to hold this energies waves as they come in with new earth. The new creation waves are going to push your light up, but that'll also wake up the shadow. And if you have stuff unresolved, you really need support, and you need to be able to do that inner work. Integration is vital. It's vital to your life and your life force right now.
Yeah,
Many people who
integration.
don't have that are struggling.
Yeah.
So we want to be able to support people in that. And that's part of my walk, to help people get integrated, to be whole. So everything we're doing to support each other is so important. And I know many, 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 many of you are doing this too. And I'm
Yeah,
so
integration is our integrity. That's what gives what we're creating integrity, is that we are integrated individually so we can create something that is integrated,
that's
full.
what plugs us in. That's
Yeah.
right. Without that plug-in, you're disconnected. And you can't be in accord if you're discord. So
Right.
you want to be in that accord, of one accord.
Mhm.
That's right.
So we have two drummers, and we have a singer, and we have singers and drummers. Oh, actually, we have three because Lisa is all that too.
So I have my drum. I'm also a rattle maker.
So is Gail.
These are my Ocean Mother rattles. And I also have my harmony here, harp. My harp is here.
I think Lisa has something to share.
Yeah, I got a bunch of
Um,
instruments.
and yeah, Misha
Bonjour.
too. Bonjour. Misha was sharing, and I wanted to see if he could finish his thing, but I'm going to get ready to go play music actually and bring some of this light to the world. But what I'm hearing and what I'm going to establish in my own practice and in the medicine wheel ceremony that I'll do on the 21st is kind of what Andres said, is like really coming into the center of the heart, really coming into the center of the self, true north, because the world is shifting and so many things are crumbling and falling apart, and it feels as dire as it does beautiful. And so helping people trust the change by going inward and really centering into the wheel and letting the wheel turn. But really, yeah, we root and we have center, and therefore we can allow the changes because we can trust the planet, like our newest friends share there. Like we're in deep resonance with the earth and her process. We're part of it. We trust it. We're held in it, that heart. So I love it. I'm going to go sing a song that talks about letting the way of the heart show. Let's let the way of the heart. Yeah.
Even
Anyway.
Love it.
even the rooting that we're talking about is rooting from the heart
Rooting
root.
from the heart.
Yeah.
If one of our logos is
Yeah.
actually
The
projects
heart
that.
with roots on it.
Heart with roots on it. It's
Mhm.
speaking. So also earlier we were talking about integration. I don't know if you
Mhm.
Yeah.
heard that part. Did you? We were talking about integrity and
Yes.
integration
Yeah.
um, and of course integrating all parts of ourselves,
Yeah.
our spiritual, emotional, physical, psychological, all of it, all of it.
Multidimensional.
And
Mhm.
once, and of course, the integrating of all of that is in the heart. And that's how the birth of this group called Heartists is. And another, and an important part of this integration and being a Heartist is it came from the fact that I've enjoyed my life in art. All my life, I've been able to be in art of whatever form,
Mhm.
from visual arts to tactile arts to musical arts to film to all of that, the theater. And my fortunate life of being in art is something that, um, I didn't really become grateful about that until I was after my 30. I just celebrated my 80th birthday in
Wow.
Hungary at
Wow.
the heart chakra of the masculine point of the feminine chakra on the Danube River
Yeah.
in the Danube Bend. That's where I was for my 80th birthday, and uh, but I remember somewhere around 30 or so, so that's 50 years ago, is when I began to really feel grateful to live my life in art. And what it meant to me. And what it meant to me was that I was ever evolving because the what art means is a creative life, an ongoing life where you don't ever get stuck. And that's the biggest thing. There's a group called I'm Awake Now. What's next? What now that I'm awake? Well, awakening is important, but that's just the beginning. That's, you're
That's right.
awakening to the beginning. You awaken to your own consciousness, and that's when it all begins. And you begin to see, and of course, if you awaken in your consciousness in your heart, then of course also your total compassion for all life is also fully it's fully in that
Integrated.
well, it's in that seed that's fully beginning to, blossom out and put out the roots and put out all the feelers, even in your hair. It brings out the antennas and the antennas going out as well as receiving the information. And anyway, so much for my ramblings, but I'm just a
It's
rambling
all,
guy.
Andras, thank you so much. Thank you so much for
yeah.
saying the
Yeah.
seed.
What?
Because the seed, there's something about that I just really want to speak to for a second. And that is that seed is one of the biggest jewels we all have that is going for us that you're right about. It's like because that's our unlimited potential.
Mhm.
And what you're speaking to is that unlimited potential of what we can do once we are awake. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, and that's why the seeds in Grandmother Garden are
Happy
so important. We got to have those seeds. We've got to have everybody to know that they can discover their own potential. That
Yeah.
they may just be a seed right now, Or maybe they have they've lived their life, they've done it all, and now they're bringing a whole bunch of different seeds.
That's why, words. It's so important to really develop your own um, vision and consciousness of even what a seed is. Um, so for me, a seed is like a light. And I'll tell you where that came from. I grew up with a mother who had a nursery school. I grew up with a nursery school in our house. And of course, she did all the things with the kids. And of course, one of the main was this little light of mine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light. So for me, that's when that became very obvious that that seed is that little light of mine. And we actually address that every morning in our
Kriya practice.
practice, Kriya Yoga practice that we do each morning. And I bring that up verbally because um, it's really that's the seed. It's that little light to be able to see within ourselves. And from there, you can go anywhere.
Oh, well said.
That's so cool that that's part of your daily ritual.
Yeah.
Misha, you dropped off as I just joined, and I wanted to tell you, I live here in Southern Oregon, and we have a time bank. It's been going on for a while here, and it was so funny. I left for like 4 years. I came back. I still have time bank credits.
They never expire.
Done time in
They
the
never
time
expire until you
it
do.
never loses its. Yeah. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I still have like 15 hours in the time bank.
Right.
I gotta find
Misha,
a
do you want to finish what you were trying to say when you froze?
and
And
yeah,
Thank you.
come
Thank
back.
you. It gave me a second to gather the thoughts. So from a pragmatic perspective, time banking goes and it takes that fatherly energy and it puts it into feminine, divine feminine goddess ways of neighbors helping neighbors, being in service and asking for what one needs, coming from the heart, coming from emotion. The other thing that I was thinking about is when we're talking about these directions, I plotted out years ago with a colleague of mine a project called ABC Squared Economics. And the focus of it was on looking at um, the heart, mind, body, spirit, looking at the artist, business, citizen, and community or charity entity to be able to go and recognize and to compensate, to appreciate, to validate each of those different roles that we play in our lives. And recognizing that we are all life artists, that the life artist, every time we get up, we're basically all volunteers. Some of us get compensated one way, they get compensated another, they don't get compensated, and they hold whatever emotions as a result. Um, when it comes to time banking, the fusion between time banking and trade banking, which is which are pieces of the puzzle, which make those that have become very acclimated to the money market economy and have created divisions amongst property and possession and goods and services from one another. Now we're able to go and start to bridge those gaps between time banking, trade banking, cryptocurrency, and like new funds transfers to do energetic exchanges. So what that's opening up is a whole realm of practical ways that this grandmother energy and this global directional calibration energy can be refocused into supporting everybody involved. It's like a win-win-win-win situation in all four directions. And there's no buy-in except participation and willingness and uh, intent and the power to go and make a choice to do so. So that's what's coming up on the horizon over the next couple of weeks. I really like also this idea of doing because Mayana, you're thank you for getting together and putting those pieces of the puzzle with the cosmic solstice coming up in a few weeks. I think that would be a cool time if you have the willingness to do so, to do something of that nature, of a calibration, of a clock resetting from an energetic framework, as something that's done as part of ritual during the course of that day. So maybe think of something like that is what came to mind. Other
Yeah,
than that,
absolutely.
yeah, I love this subject matter. It's like it's taking it from the top of the mountains and getting it right down to the earth and supporting the roots amidst, yeah, it's cold. I'm in Asheville again, 15 degrees this past week.
Yeah, so at this point, I get to bring in Marcine, who was one of the original Global Medicine Wheel creators with us, creators, the channelers, bringing it through. She worked with Blue Thunder in the process of that. I'm going to unmute you, Marcine. Hi.
Oh, hi. Thank you. Sorry I'm late. I just got your notice. So what are we talking about?
We're talking about global medicine wheel and what it means to us to have a global medicine wheel and to turn the wheel. We've talked about how it means. Lisa is on here. Lisa Luna is on here, and she was suggesting that it's, our perspective, that we turn our perspective of what we're looking at. We talked about being true north in the center of the wheel and having our center in the center of the wheel to realign. We talked about the earth tilt. We talked about our light in the center being that white pillar. We talked about the white energy, and we've talked about all that. So what do you want to bring to the table?
Well, being a latecomer, not knowing exactly everything that you guys have talked about, what I see is these global medicine wheels being the catalyst. And they may start out being kind of small, but I think they will grow to where we have a lot of people. The more people in all the different places on the earth, the better it's going to be, because the power is in the masses of the people. It's in the uniting of the people. And it's going to take uniting them as one voice, one mind, one heart, in order to actually create the new world that we want. And of course, the what was her name there on the grandmother's thing that just brought in the 100th monkey principle. And through that, we don't need to have everyone. We just need to have, what is it, 10%, something like that, that can unite with one mind, one thought. I am reminded of the words of Leon Shenandoah, the past Tadadaho of the Haudenosaunee, the great law, the Ganashagawa. And he did a speech before the UN. And in this speech, he said, "We, the people, have the spiritual power that is greater than any nuclear power if we just bring it forth in love, in truth, and in uniting." And so that's kind of like my goal, or what I would think of in all of this. You have a very interesting proposal here with the turning of the times. And I wish I would have been here for that discussion to understand a little bit better.
Well, it's about freeing time, that we hold time so rigidly and we play with it like we make it so fake, like our daylight savings times and the hours and the months, and the true time is 13 months, the 13 moons. That's true time. Our culture uses fake time. And
Yep, it does.
yeah. So there was something from what you said I wanted to bring forth.
There was a big gathering in 1999 that anchored prayers for time reform for our Earth. It happened, I don't know if any of you know about this, but Jose Arguellos gathered people from around the world at the University of Peace. And I actually was on the Council for Art and Time and wound up co-facilitating with a man named Yanase from Japan, that particular group. We had different spheres that were holding different aspects of life related to time, including time itself. And we met for a series of events and meetings to write a document that each delegate group put together that was a Reformation request for time reform for the earth. It was then taken to the United Nations, to the Vatican, and at the time, it was also brought to Omar Gaddafi. And the reason it was brought to Omar was because at that time, Omar was already running his country on a 13 moon harmonic calendar system. So I was part of that, but I'm bringing it forward now for you all to think about reaching back, and you can find those documents. Look it up, Google it, and those documents were publicized. Jose is on the other side. So is his wife Lloydine, who was there with him at the time. A lot has passed, but the Time Lords did not approve the shift at that time. So the Time Lords are guardians of time in our universe. And there are times when things are to come right for certain reasons and purposes. When we talk about wanting to come into being harmonic with life force and the mana, the creation force of Earth and everything to do with life itself, there are bigger forces at play than ourselves alone. And I learned that at that event. It was a very powerful event. I wound up time traveling and doing all kinds of stuff to find that out. When the messengers from the Time Lords gave us the message that we weren't going to be allowed, it wasn't going to happen. I saw Jose looking so deflated the next day. He was literally like sitting like a little boy on by himself in his room, just like sad. And all it was he was planting the seed. He planted an incredible seed, and in fact, people walked on foot from tribes from around the world. It was on the Sulcan. It was on the actual um, the Tolkien petroglyph and glyph. That gathering was on the ancient glyph. And it was said on the glyph that people will gather from around the world to seed peace for the world. What we're talking about is harmony. And what we're talking about with harmony and time is peace. And that's the same prophecy that's been given biblically, that we're going to live 1,000 years of peace. This is the foundation point for an epoch. An epoch is 1,000-year cycle. We are the foundation setters of the epoch. I mean, all of us who are here on the earth right now, you're it. So we're at a very pivotal time when that seed you're talking about, which got planted in 1999 at that ceremony, and probably for centuries ahead of that, other places we don't remember, because what we're talking about has been being talked about for thousands of years. This is not new. It's old.
Everything old is new again. And
Ideas come home, right?
yeah, I remember what I was going to say was in the global medicine wheel we did in the spring, the three waves. We were talking about people being acupuncture points to hold Earth through the changes and to just kind of help her heal. We were each an acupuncture point. This time, it feels like we are each a sound that ripples out and meets each other's sounds in consciousness. It's more in consciousness than in earth. So it's in that other plane of in the air rather than, oh, we'll rise and meet them in the air. In the cloud, clearing the clouds of consciousness. So we're rippling out the sound waves to meet each other. And then my wave merges with your wave. And together the waves, we've talked about the gray tsunami and the gold tsunami of the global grandmothers, and we do want a tsunami energetically. We want it to be a tsunami that washes away all of the poisons and all of the pollution of the mind, all of the stuff that confuses and disables people. Wouldn't that be wonderful if we could just clear consciousness
The
that way?
celestial dragons have been calling it clean sweeping, to
Yeah.
bring the clean sweep of the breath of the dragon, the Shang-Chi, the life force through all life. And the celestials are the dragons that come from beyond our universe, that are coming from the God source, carrying our future frequencies for us. So clean sweeping with our future energy is really right in sync with what you just spoke. Perfect.
And we've also, oh yes, Gail. Yeah.
Bringing in this all together. I am Grandmother Dragon of the dragons of this world. And I've been traveling the world for this past year, awakening and helping people discover their own dragon energy so that they can be holding space. The message I've been getting for the past 6 months is be still. And recently a client has asked me to create a drum for her, and the drums that I create symbolism that are messages from their ancestors to help them guide them on their path, sort of like a tarot card on a drum. And I woke up one morning and I couldn't remember the name of it, so I had to look it up on the internet. I said, "Oh, right, okay, it's a gyroscope." So I messaged my client in Germany, and I said, "Why am I getting a picture of a gyroscope?" And she said, "Well, I work with the crystal skull, and with the crystal skull teachings, they use the gyroscope for their energy. So the gyroscope is always moving to keep in balance." And so as I visualized and got messages from the ancestors, I showed her what I came up with, which was the gyroscope at rest, not moving. And I said, "Well, there we go. Let's take that down, that reaction." It was really long coming up there. I said, so this goes with the message that I've been getting the past 6 months, as we are the center of the medicine wheel. We are holding space for all the directions around us. We are holding space for all those who are still in darkness by shining our light and sending our sound, our vibration, our intentions out to those around us who aren't yet awakened or just awakening now. We are to be still in that center point of the gyroscope as it all twists and turns around us, trying to get everybody in sync. So instead of us chasing around, trying to get everybody herded in, we just stay still, shine our light, our intention, our love, and they will receive it everywhere around the world, because we are strategically placed. We are where we're supposed to be, strategically placed all over the world, sending out our vibration and sending out our light to hold space for those who have not yet awakened or are struggling to awaken. So that is the message that's been coming in for me this past 6 months. So that it's sort of the gyroscope kind of brought it together. My giant.
Thank
The
you.
reason I got the first intention was my car I have a green dragon painted on the hood of my car, and the green dragon is supposed to represent movement forward, but not movement for the sake of movement, movement with a purpose. My car was broke down constantly for 6 months, and it even committed suicide and rammed into a cement wall. And then I was still without a car. And I'm standing there staring at the car in the green dragon. I says, we're supposed to be moving forward. And the car said to me, be still. So I was forced by energy of the universe to be still and hold space for those around me. So that's my recent income from out there. I'm already in the 5th dimension in the new world, with 1 foot here in the 3rd dimension to help others with this shift that we're going through at this time. And we're here to help you transform and transmute into that new world. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelly, you mentioned the word the name of Jose Arguelles.
Yeah.
I wonder if has any of you were involved with the harmonic convergence of
Oh yeah.
August 88?
Oh yeah. In fact, I gave birth that year, and Jose was in the Bay Area at the time when he started the whole convergence activity. There was
Yeah,
women in the Bay Area like crazy. But
yeah, that's when I met Jose
I want to
during
say
that.
to Gail, um, I'm part of Dragon Thunder. There's an international summit that came together 3 years ago for dragon teachers. And you check it out on Facebook. Look up Dragon Thunder and come be part of it.
Mm.
I've been an international host on Dragon
Next
Thunder.
June 21st,
It's
a bunch of
July.
my dragon people are going to be meeting me in Iceland,
Huh?
the land of the dragons. And we're going
Yeah.
to be doing a summer solstice ceremony at their sacred site there in Iceland. With
One
the
of my
on
students
that
was just
dragon
there.
line.
I work with dragon energy for 25 years. It's how I met Mayana. We are white dragons. So a lot of us are working with the guardians of the earth that reawoken about 8 years ago. I was part of that awakening, and I was on a interspecies negotiation for the earth from the time of the fall till 8 years ago when we completed it. Getting our negotiation with our elemental straightened out was very vital to our progress of moving forward. And the Dragon Awakening is very connected to all of that. So I'm so happy you're here being a dragon teacher. We need people to teach people to understand them. We have demonized them, fantasized them, but don't really understand our relationship to them. And we need to come right with that. They are partnered with us. We are all connected to the nature of the elementals, not just as guardians on the earth, but what is our own energy and power. And so Andra, so I want to invite you to Dragon Thunder. Come and join us with that collective. You'll fit right in. And Andras, were you with Jose at the first harmonic convergence? Were you with him?
Yeah.
I wasn't with him, but I was with other community in Santa Cruz in California with my medicine teacher. We were doing white buffalo calf ceremonies at the ocean at that time. And I'm actually going to be back there on the 21st. I'm going to have a reunion next week with my Bay Area community. So I'm driving down to do some service with a young boy who's hurt, and as a healer, but I'm gonna make time for ceremony. And I was gonna come back here to Oregon on the 21st, but I may stay down there and do ceremony at the ocean with all of you from there. I may anchor that point from the
I want to
Bay.
bring Lisa in because she brought her face in.
I do. I am going to sign off because I'm almost at my event. But I just wanted to say, bringing up Jose Arguelles, which is so amazing, and Marcin, that goes back to John. And what I was also thinking is time and space are an illusion that we don't really quite understand, that we're inside of. So I like what I think Gail was speaking to. the center. I think that's where we kind of started too, the center of the wheel. We are in the center, and when we are in our center, we can allow all things to move and change and disintegrate around us, and we stay centered. I think about the impact of the loss of John and how my whole world shifted. It was like an inner mini experience of the apocalypse, and what kept me centered was the Mayan calendar and natural time, which is what Jose Argüelles was teaching. And that, so I just feel the last thing I want to say is like, we always are where we are meant to be. When I saw this morning, I'm like, Lisa, you got to be on that call. There's a reason. And I love all the synchronicities. I love the expanded new teachings. I love the way that we're nourishing each other at this time. And I'm going to go sing about the light of the heart. So,
Well, just one parting word for you and
mhm.
with you and with everybody else at the same time. Of course, the word indigenosity is coming up all the time. And that's all we have to do is know that we are all in our indigenosity is with the earth, with
Yeah,
God. We are all indigenous,
that's
and
right.
that's what brings us into that oneness,
Aho.
that we're all indigenous to Mother Earth.
And our
Woohoo.
spirits from the stars.
And our spirits from the stars. Thank you all so much. Big
Thanks,
love. Mwah.
Lisa. Glad you were
Mhm.
here.
Me too.
Bye. Wonderful, wonderful.
Her brother John was such an incredibly beautiful, awesome light. He did a lot of work with the children in the area, teaching music and stuff, but it was his light that he shared. The music was just sort of the means by which he did it. And it was a tragic loss to the earth and to everyone in this community when we lost him.
Yeah, Maria was a new student at Arts West School where he was teaching the students. Maria's my youngest daughter, and she was at the school, and I don't know how I found out, but I was the one that found out, and I'd only met him a couple of times. So I met Lisa after he passed.
Ah,
And and I was the one that told the school, and I was like, wow, I felt it. Even though I didn't know them, I felt the power of his loss. He and his son. That was incredible.
I did want to comment, roll back our conversations here a little bit, back to when you were talking about the 13 moons instead of what we're doing presently. Were
Mhm.
you aware that NATO was looking at changing the clock?
Hmm.
No.
They are considering going to the 13 moons.
Wow.
At least an article I read said they were.
That's fantastic. That's
Yeah.
actually a really good sign.
It
Because
is.
really that harmonically, there's a naturalness, right, to us coming right with whatever right is. In every way, I think that's what we're talking about in the natural reciprocity of things, the nature of being, is to come into right alignment with what is true and whatever that truth may be. And truth is not a singularity. It's a many jeweled thing. Do you guys
Yeah.
have a song? Do you want a song?
Sure.
Let's do a song. Let's bring some sound. Drum, rattle, or harp. You choose.
Harp.
Okay.
We've been talking about harmony. It should be harmony bringing the sound out.
Yay. She's here. I got her. Okay.
I'll help.
So I invite you all to drop into your hearts.
Well, Gail, maybe you want to bring a drum. She's got a
I
rattle.
invite you all to sing. If you want to sing where we can hear you, fine. If not, mute and sing.
And the intention is placed within the center of the wheel. The intention is clear. Our hearts are rooted in Mother Earth. We are turning our perspective to the turning of the world, the new earth emerging, the love we are singing, the joy we are breathing, the life we are living.
Oh,
May all beings know peace. Thank you.
All right. Final words.
It's a wave, that wave of harmonious sounds being sent out and receiving. Yeah.
Thank you, Cindy. Blessings, love, light, harmony, victory, light, and freedom, peace, justice, holding our united hearts, uniting our prayers for peace to expand and hold the stronghold together as brothers and sisters. I do that every day in all my prayers. I invite you to join me in unifying our prayers to stay strong together. And may we be in greater and greater success in all our endeavors and intentions of goodwill in the world we're creating, in our future, and our next steps, in our every breath. Ashe, Aho, blessings. Thank you.
And aloha.
oh.
Aloha.
Aeneastus.
What was that, Marcine?
Same thing as namates or aho. Same thing.
Gail, do you have a final words from you, grandmother?
May the sound be heard around the world.
Thank you all. Thanks for your presence. We will put this up on YouTube and in Heartists and Grandmothers.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Bado. Bado.